You've committed to sell your business. You've hired someone to represent you. But what happens actually when that clock starts ticking? What happens when the gun goes off? What are the steps of the actual business process? Today's video will talk about those 7 steps and how that conveyor belt, if you will, of a transaction evolves from the beginning stages to a closed transaction. And so step 1 is going to be information gathering and narrative. That is, working with the company to gather the relevant pieces of information to create a narrative that crystallizes to the outside world why the company is special, what its competitive edge is, and the people, process, and product, service, or offering that it provides. The goal here is not to boil the ocean and get all of the information that's ever available about the company, but intelligently picking out the particular items that are going to captivate an audience and create a market. The second step is going to be research. Now you have the story, who do you tell it to? And so researching across the spectrum, financial buyers, strategic buyers within the financial world, family offices, independent sponsors, private equity firms within the strategic world, public companies, private companies, other participants. It's a very, very broad spectrum, particularly in the middle market and lower middle market, and being able to research precisely who you should be reaching out to in a particular deal to make it a proactive, not reactive process is vital to good results. Not blasting an email to 20,000 people on a mailing list, but reaching out to perhaps 100 to 200 people, that this opportunity would be the missing puzzle piece to what they're trying to do. The third step is the actual outreach. Now, this is a combination of automation, of AI, of good old-fashioned picking up the phone and talking to people. But the point is to get eyes on the opportunity. You're only going to have a short amount of time with your opportunity on their desk. It needs to be impactful. You need to get their attention. And if there's a bona fide interest upon their review, then you will see that the pacing of the dialogue slows down a little bit at that point to take a more thorough look. But in the beginning, you're going to have short time, short attention, and you need to make the most of it. The fourth step is distilling. And so what we mean by this is that typically the first 3 weeks of a process are getting the information and doing the research. The next 5 weeks or so is reaching out, building up interest, building up outreach, building up awareness to the party specifically that you want to be aware of this. And then beyond that, from day 60 roughly to day 90 is the distilling process. This now takes the total amount of potentially interested parties and starts to winnow it down. And there's certain techniques to do that intelligently, to separate the wheat from the chaff, to find out who's really interested in the company and not someone who's just trying to gather information. The fifth step is then negotiating. So many of the offers would start to trickle in at day 90, day 100 to 110, we'd have all of the offers aggregated, and we would be lining all of these up side by side with each other, variable by variable, in effort to negotiate with each party to push the total aggregate value, structure, transition, and stakeholder, employee, community considerations to optimize those across the board for who we decide to move forward with. The sixth step, which typically sets off the balance of the process, is the signing of the letter of intent. You've decided who you're going to move forward with. You've had all of the relevant business terms negotiated, and now it's papered in a document that's going to allow for the second part of the process, which is the formal due diligence. We've made videos in the past as to what happens in due diligence, but largely speaking, it's going to be tech, legal, financial review. But when done correctly, the diligence process should be confirmatory, not evaluative. And what we mean by that is diligence should not be an opportunity for acquirers to retrade the deal. It should not be an opportunity for them to really figure out if they want to do it. By the time you get to formal diligence, you have to have a deal that everybody really wants to do, and you're confirming that the financial statements are what they are, that there's no unmentioned legal risks or other things like that. So again, a confirmatory diligence process. And typically, depending on the type of company and the complexity, that can be 60 to 90 days post LOI closing. So you have a whole 6-month process, and there's a little bit of nuance to every single transaction, given that the facts and circumstances of the company are a bit different. Those are the 7 steps that take it from start to finish. So let's recap very quickly. The 7 steps of a business exit process are: 1, information gathering in the narrative; 2, research of potential acquirers; 3, outreach; 4, distilling down to offers; 5, negotiating across variables; 6, formalizing and signing the LOI; 7, the diligence process to close it. So again, there's levels of complexity to each component of this, and there's certainly nuance. But if you say, what really happens in a process? How does this work? What are the practical steps to keep in mind and the different hurdles along the way? These are them. So I hope the week continues to go well for everyone. Keep pushing forward. God bless. We'll see everyone next time.